Welcome to the 10-Minute Mind Shift Podcast. I'm your host, Janet Cagle, certified life coach, weight loss coach, and lover of all things related to upleveling my life and yours. My goal is to help you get one step closer to your goal, whatever it is. My goal is not to keep you wrapped up in self-help all day, just 10 minutes. And who doesn't have 10 minutes, right? Hey friend, welcome back. This is episode number 62, and today we are going to talk about buffering behavior. Doesn't that sound like fun? Regardless of what your goal is, many of us have created habits or behaviors that don't necessarily support our goal. In fact, they are actually creating a net negative effect in our lives. Some of these behaviors eat into our health and our wellness goal, our wealth creation goal. They can cost us time, energy, and they cost us the opportunity to live at our highest and best self. We have fallen into these habits and behaviors oftentimes quite accidentally, and then bam, here we are, stuck in a bad habit that feels like we can't live without it. I want you to think back to when some of your bad habits started. What was the driver? I'm going to guess that it may have been triggered by an emotion. Maybe the nerves started you biting your nails or pulling at your hair, and then before you know it, you do it even when you aren't nervous. Some of us maybe had a drink to take the edge off of a hard day, and fast forward, 15 years later, it's a 2 or 3 glasses of wine habit. Buffering behavior is when we use external things to change how we feel internally, emotionally. The problem with buffering behavior is that the behavior or activity is something that keeps us from fully experiencing a life by design. It has us living at the effect of the craving or the urge of the buffering behavior. Buffering behavior has us hiding from the reality of what is, not showing up, and it has us sabotaging our goals. As humans, we come by buffering behavior very innocently due to our brain's motivational strategy to seek pleasure and avoid pain and conserve energy. Layer on the human condition of wanting to be happy all the time and a world that is all too willing to deliver the opportunity for false pleasures everywhere, and we have a recipe for disaster. It's no wonder we eat more, and then the more we eat, the more we want to eat. The more we drink, the more we want to drink. The more we spend, the more we want to spend. The more we gossip, the more we want to gossip. Even biting our nails, the more we do it, the more we want to do it. We create our desire to buffer when we don't manage our thoughts. Remember that it is our emotions that are fuel for our actions, our behaviors, but it all starts in the brain with the thought. It becomes perpetual because the more we experience the false pleasure from the buffering behavior, the more we seek. The more our brain seeks. We don't even realize that it's false pleasure until we wake up one day and realize our life just didn't line up like we had pictured it would. It may have started out as an itch that you scratched, and now it's an extra 20 pounds or a bottle of Chardonnay a day, no time or energy or money to pursue your dreams. Buffering is a thief. It gives you nothing in return. Giving up false pleasures makes us more available for life's real pleasures. Constraining how much you consume in the area of food and drink and shopping, Facebook and gambling, etc., only adds a richness to your life, and it gives you more time and money for consuming important events and experiences. Here's the big question. When you stop the buffering, what remains? What would your life be like if you didn't overeat, overdrink, overspend, or overwork, or over people please, or over Facebook, or over busy yourself? Here's the thing. If we could entertain all of the false pleasures without consequences, nobody would care. But there are consequences. Buffering does create pain because buffering only gives you a rush of pleasure in that moment, and then you're left with the emotions that fueled the behavior to begin with. You're left with the anxiety, the worry, the overwhelm, and the boredom, and now maybe crappy looking fingers from biting your nails, or an extra 10 to 20 pounds from overeating or overdrinking, and a bank account going the wrong direction. A net negative effect from buffering behavior. On the other hand, when we learn to seek natural pleasures, we experience a positive effect. We get to know ourselves on a deeper level. We will be available to ourselves and others on a deeper level, a soul level depth. So, what to do? This week, be on the lookout for your buffering behavior. What is your buffer of choice? What's that thing that you do or consume to take the edge off and decide to remove it from your life? Now, I will warn you, when you decide to put an end to your buffering behavior, the inner cave woman is coming after you. Let her. Write down all of the things that come up for you and then drop into a place of curiosity and compassion for her. Give yourself time to evolve into the woman or the man who no longer does whatever it is you are removing from your life by design. When you trade the buffering behavior and the false pleasure and the false reward with real pleasure and real reward, you will create more confidence. And confidence begets more confidence, which begets more confidence. You will also create trust with yourself, and you will become closer to the human that you are becoming in a very grown-up and mature and elegant way of being. Eating healthy is a natural pleasure. We were meant to feel nourished and energized by the way we fuel our bodies, not entertained and bloated. Not overeating and overdrinking gives you the pleasure of not worrying about your weight and bloating and a hangover. The results are very pleasurable. When you aren't overconsuming and overspending, you have money to invest in your future or invest in the lives of others by contributing to social causes. That is real pleasure. When you aren't buffering by gossiping about others, you create more time in your day to nourish your brain. That is a real pleasure. If you are buffering to escape something, you will always be escaping. I want you to imagine what your life would be like without that thing that you're buffering with. Your life is actually way better without it. In the beginning, it may not feel that way. You may feel deprived, bored, even lonely. But I promise you that if you continue to buffer to avoid those feelings, you are missing out on the authenticity of your life. And those feelings will still be there. Buffering is what we do to avoid an emotion. It makes sense that when you stop the buffering behavior, you are left to feel it. Be willing to feel it. Be willing to process it without the buffering. I want you to experience and understand that the worst that can happen is this emotion that you are feeling, but it will pass. In fact, it will pass in about 90 seconds if you let it. Allow it without resisting against it. That only elongates it. When you stop buffering, you start living the truth of your life. You start seeing exactly what is going on in your mind. When you stay with it, you can create a life that you don't want to escape from. A life by design is a life that you don't want to escape from. I hope that this has been helpful and useful to you and that you have identified a buffering behavior that you already are ready to release and start feeling the reward of real pleasure. That's what I have for you today, and now, go have the best week ever. That's a wrap of the 10-Minute Mind Shift podcast. I hope that you were able to experience your own mind shift today. Listen, if you're ready to take this work to the next level, I highly recommend Life by Design Academy. It's my one-on-one coaching program that offers you a transformation at the speed of life.